Congratulations on completing the intro module and modules 1 and 2. We now move into module 3, which concerns, as far as the spiritual disciplines go, Holy Communion and a time of praise. I think you'll probably enjoy the praise assignment more than any of the other assignments that you have so far. I'd like to touch upon the subject of the 4 field visits that you're making to other churches. I believe the assignments are fairly clear in Moodle. Wanted to let you know that it does not matter which form or which professor you have for IS 501. The 4 visits to churches radically different than what you're used to is a mandate from the Vocational Formation Office. I realize that for a lot of you that are in ministry and have very active schedules, especially on Sunday, that these 4 field visits are a bit of a burden. I'll even phrase it that strongly. This is something that Fuller's president and the Vocational Formation Office feels very strongly about, and that it is good to get outside of our normal box and visit other churches. Please feel free to visit any type of worship service that is going on Monday through Saturday. Do not feel a need to do something on Sunday so that you get the full experience. I completely understand that Sundays are incredibly busy for many of you. Last year during Easter, I found it to be quite normal and not a surprise at all that we had about 4 weeks of this class, and then there was an entire week off for Passion Week, Easter week, and then we began again in the course after that 1 week of Easter break. I was a little bit surprised that the Fuller scheduler, whoever that might be or whatever committee that might be, did not put that break in for us this year as well. I wish that had been there, but there must have been something about the calendar that did not allow that to happen. I also teach for Indiana Wesleyan University, and they did the exact same thing. They ran classes all the way through Passion Week this week, so there must be something about the calendar that messed up the schedulers. Clarification that I need to make clearer for the next round of this course next year is that there is no need to submit anything when you meet with your accountability groups. It would be good for you to go into the grade book area of Moodle and make sure that I have correctly graded. If you were in your group for half of a meeting, then I gave you 5 points instead of 10. If you were not present at all for an accountability group meeting or a vocational formation group, then you received 0 points, obviously. But I do make mistakes, so if I made a mistake, please let me know by email. But all of those grades up through the completion of Module 2 have now been entered as far as the attendance for VF groups and accountability groups. There is a little bit of confusion going on, or has been, between the 2 types of groups, accountability groups and vocational formation groups. Let me share with you a little bit about where they came from. VF groups come from the Vocational Formation Office, and as you can already tell, there are paid Fuller staff members who are engaged on a part-time basis with Fuller Seminary to help lead you through the vocational formation groups. And as you move through that section, area 2 on Moodle for each module, you will be receiving feedback from those vocational formation group leaders. And I'm very glad that they're there to help you process. You'll meet again with them in week 9. Then there is the accountability groups, which meet every week. I think everyone has figured that out by now, the difference between the 2. The primary reason that I have added accountability groups into this course, it's not coming from the Vocational Formation Office, it's coming from me as professor, is that I am absolutely convinced that one of the greatest ways that we can bring purity and sanctification back to the ranks of pastors and staff members in churches throughout our country and throughout the world is through accountability groups. that this model that you're seeing, that you studied with Jorge and Matthew in their video in Module 1, and that you're now beginning to experience and I hope appreciate, is what I consider to be that which can bring about a massive change in American Christianity and world Christianity. We need to come back into fellowship with one another, understand what true fellowship is, understand what it means to confess to one another, understand what it means to be in accountability one to another once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever it may be. We need this. We need to leave loneliness behind, and we need to understand what it takes to remain in ministry over the long term and to remain in ministry in a way that is not depressing and destructive to our beings as we serve the church in whatever capacity we serve. I am absolutely convinced that accountability groups are needed in the church today. I also believe that we have a beautiful new piece of technology. Technology can be good or bad. But with video conferencing, we have the opportunity to do accountability groups with a friend group that we know, that we trust, that we know are true Christians, that are not going to judge us, but instead support us, that are going to hold us appropriately accountable on areas where we're struggling, and to keep us in the spiritual disciplines. We can do this now for a lifetime with a group through video conferencing. We don't have to be physically together with them. We can do this year after year, no matter how many times we move, we can still keep these relationships up. And it is my deepest prayer that through this short 8-week experience with accountability groups, that you will gain an appreciation for what the possibilities are to help keep you in ministry and keep you healthy. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me by email, robertwhite1@fuller.edu. God bless, and I hope that Module 3 is a positive experience.